Hello and welcome to another gameplay review on the Vakayu Gameplay channel. And in this one we have Vi Jungle. And the reason for this is because she is ready to fist the meta. And specifically in Korea. So this is a Korean game. Now you're thinking, what did you just say? And that's right. She has a higher pick rate in Korea than she does in EWest and NA in terms of D2 plus Master plus MMR range. How about that? So we're going to see why and how they use her in this particular meta and this particular reality. Obviously, we have here quite a tanky CC-filled left side team. And the right side team, they have a Zeri plus an Amumu plus an Ahri Charm plus a Graves. So who knows which way this will go. Our bot lane obviously doesn't have to leash now. They're going to cheese because that's what Amumu does. Conquer Page on your screen now. We have the secondary, not Inspiration, not Resolve, not Domination, no Halo Blades or anything like that. Sorcery. I do like myself a bit of Sorcery, and I think it's underused, especially the Transcendence. Now, here we're going leashless, right? Because obviously this is a cheese we want to avoid, and we want to use our 2v2 to win. Carly leashes top lane here, and I like this against Graves. Because if he doesn't know where you are, and he tries a frivolous invade, then you're gonna kind of play around with his time and mess his time up. However, obviously you don't win, right? You don't win 1v1, so you're trying to avoid that as best as possible. Here he goes. Oh, look at this. Pathological at this point. I did red into an invade of the enemy jungler, not knowing at all where she began. See, I don't like the scan here from Vi. I don't think having the scanner here in this particular environment is good. Against Graves and things, you want vision, right? Because the denial, if he pushes you off it, he pushes you off it, right? And he keeps that vision. Whereas us leaving a ward early on the opposite side or on camps and so on to see what he's doing, that's huge, because while we can keep things simple, stupid, and just do our quadrant, which is kind of what you want to do, our bot lane here is super low, winning the 2v2, okay, and getting kills, so they're going to base, even though they have prio. The Graves now can do this, cut across and protect, because you can't do this because of the nature of the bot lane, or you can just cheese this and then it's too late for you to do that, because now their bot lane is back in lane. So he kind of has a lot of the control at the moment. And obviously, if he feels and recognizes what the Vi recognizes, which is, hey, they're basing, I have this here, I have the prio here, there's no stress for me. I can just take this, loop back around, and do all of this. You know, and outside in roll the crab first, potentially. So that's what the Graves should be doing and could be doing. Let's have a look. And now, basically, going for the top crab here is interesting. Now, the Vi is low. The Vi can't go for the bottom side crab at all. However, if she could go for the bottom side crab, but bottom lane wasn't in a position to rotate, then Graves taking this is a little bit better because you can kind of deny this and then obviously, you know, flex into this. But he chooses to take the top side one because she might reverse up to that. He stays vertical basically at this stage, and Vi isn't going to have the position. We'll see what she does actually. This was yes, that was funny. Fiora did beget things, and then Graves just flash canceled his auto, which is kind of funny. So the Vi uses that now to recognize exactly what he's done, sees no blue, takes this, Zeri tries to poke us, we have our bot lane back in lane with item advantage. You don't want to go for this. Ideally, you do, but not if their bot lane is showing, you know, the ability to rotate. Galio just goes all in, baby, and we just gonna Q flash that. Actually, we didn't even flash it, we just Q'd it. That was really, really snappy. I was trying to look at a few things. That's why Vi's so good and why they're using her on the server, because here's the thing. Yes, we're not in a farming meta, but farming is still important. However, successful ganks, successful wave holds, successful wave pushes, all right, can really negate a lot of the AFK farming that certain junglers can do, which is, of course, correct. Jungle experience is a little bit low on that side, though, in my opinion. I'd be watchful of this, though. See, she's cutting down now and not going up because she anticipates that Grace will finally take this, come to the bottom lane for the gank, and she's going to counter gank it, you see? But in terms of tempo, she's a little bit behind. Obviously, the Graves died, so she's ahead. He's ahead, rather. So Vi is still showing up here. Let's see, maybe we can do something. There's the flash Q that we wanted. Maybe we can get something back. We 100% do. The Amumu has no sums. The Zeri has no sums. The Graves has no sums. We're trying to just get our ass juiced. Perfect read. Perfect counter gank. Perfect double kill. So, back to my original point. I just wanted to cover that as it was happening because I didn't know it was going to happen. The guaranteed nature of ganks, if you're something like a Vi, you know, a good skirmisher, someone who can do these kinds of things, we will probably die here. It's fine. You know, that's hugely valuable in a meta. Think of it like Set. Do you guys remember Set Volibear from Season 10 before it became super AFK farm boring? Where they were just kind of rushing Swifties and just sprinting around the map and ganking everything? similar vibes, except with a lot more ability to farm and catch up and obviously remain relevant. And solo dragons and heralds is pretty good as well. So the Vi success rate in terms of ganks, lockdown CC, easy to execute champion, and also even when you're behind, you can still do a lot of things, right? It's not like you become super useless. Your ultimate and your Q are always useful. So in that regard, they're using it more in Korea because it just leads to a guaranteed success rate. That means an AFK farming jungler, that's a little bit more difficult. And that's why Vi's so damn good to learn how to jungle as a high pressure jungler, because high success rate, easy to use CC, you can snowball very, very heavily, priority target selection equals a dead person when you press it and you're fed. Here we go again. Disrespect, Vi goes topside obviously after the death. And we're going to miss that Q, unfortunately, but you kind of want to keep your distance a little bit from the wave. Graves goes back in. We're going to keep auto-attacking, but of course not. Range versus melee. You got to watch that Q. So that Q hitting would have been huge enough. He's just going to cut this off. You have to, I think you have to give this. You can maybe try and kill. Galio has 6. Yeah, he's 7, actually. So Galio does have abilities, but I'm not always a fan of, like, this is a waste of time. You know he's going to do this. You know he's going to flip bot. So this should be pinged and noticed. Always going to do this. So you have to give all of this up, but what we can do is flex into that. All right. So let's see what the Graves does and what the Vi chooses to do. Because she could have just gone straight blue already. And now, if she went straight blue, she's here for the Akali. You know, potentially we're 6. We're looking at a very, very close 6 here in most situations. Okay. Not quite this game because we got stifled a little bit, but, you know, at least we're there for that fight, which is huge. No scanner open, so don't waste your time. Obviously, that's always good. Oh, look, Graves shot a bot lane, and now he's going to take Krugs. Who could have foreseen this? And that's a byproduct of the failed gank, and that's kind of what we're talking about, right? Ganking success rate, but Vi still does such a good job. Rel is a champion of always remaining strong and relevant throughout the game state. I mean, when you're behind, it's obviously easy to counter her. This Graves is not having a good go at it, is he? We do steal the red, and obviously now we can go mid lane. We do have ult, obviously. That's something we can use. If Ahri has no R, which is something you should be tracking with F keys, and no flash, then go for this. But if she does have R, it is obviously significantly more risky, but maybe we can get... You gotta hold it on R if you 100% don't know the R is up. If you think it might be up, just don't. Just don't. I don't know. It's so tough. Like, I understand. And maybe we have the maybe we have the damage to kill her, but you know what I mean? Restraint is so big there. But if that's not gankable at all for whatever reason, you can always snack this, right? We assume maybe the Graves can fall back to this if he's healthy. We can at least get this objective. Big. But by going down here now, we kind of compromise that. And we wasted our first ult. Yeah, we burst her ult, but she still has flash now. I mean, nothing is really... Ooh, now the flash is down. So that's something you should see, right? We should be clicking on this while we're farming Krugs. Haha, counted by me. No, I bet he's got Q. Nah, he's sick of everything in this game, the Graves. I'm just going to flash order. So, as I was saying, what does Vi do well? High successful ganks and at least remaining relevant. But what does she not do well? Well, farm and counter jungle and steam all over the map. And that's why Graves is currently 2 levels up. But she is still 3-1-1. And let's be honest, if she made a few better decisions, she would not be the Graves would not be 6-3-0 and 2 levels up. So, you know, just recognizing that these are gone, this is going to happen, what can I do immediately? Hanging around for a lost Raptor camp is just so silly. And that does cost you, right? All these lags in decision making cost you, but this is expected from a Graves and high elo Korea. You know this is going to happen. I think this is, again, another mistake. We should be going yeeting to top side to take this while he wastes time here. And the fact that we've got Galio R is still huge. Get the RNG crab, and again, I just spoke about it in the main channel video. This thing, 126 gold at level 9, Krugs, 131. And the Raptor camp, what is it? The crab? The crab is worth half an experience more than the Krugs. Now, with bot lane, see, now you don't want to do it. See, now it's too late. So she's actually hurting a lot with these decisions. Smite the Grump if we can. With Galio ult, we can ult and keep her in place. Galio's going to knock up. We can get another knock up there. We can auto attack taunt. Beautifully done. Queen's applause. Thank you, Galio, so much. Finally, actually, some action being used. Graves was following. Ahri shows up. No flash, but we'll have ult again. Keep your distance. Make sure if you're going to go and you're going to 100% use your Q. Ashe throws a cinematic arrow, not one that is functional. Consistent with all the Ashes in my games. They're just cinematic. They serve no purpose. Graves, you're face checking a Vi with shields up, but red smite, juicy. So once she has Q up, and of course the Q, right? This now is a low cooldown. So you're using this as a good Vi to move around the map all the time. And I love this game at the moment because it shows you 100% the downsides of Vi in a high elo setting against a more meta jungler who can farm super fast. But it also shows you the significant upside of the fighting potential and the ability to stay relevant and still strong enough to use your CC and of course your damage. And obviously that W is absolutely huge. Now, from this, we have to regain control of the game. Now, I don't think you're ever going to face, 99% of you, this kind of pressure. If you're someone who's a Master Plus or someone who wants Master Plus, this is how you navigate that pressure. But typically what the Graves is doing, minus the mechanical errors, that's what you want to deal with. However, as Vi, please, don't waste time going for this. Don't waste time watching this die. Make the next move immediately, and that's so important when you're playing something like Vi. Let's have a look here. 2-1-4 Ashe. Carly top. This, you see, now, I wanted to get this knowing that he's down here, but the problem is we waited too long, and now basically the whole enemy team goes, well, if it's not gone, I have prior top lane, let me use it. And that's what Fiora did, so you have to pay attention to those things. Again, a little bit of prior, a little bit of darkness on the map, not something we super enjoy, but we have Ionia Boots of the City. We have Divine Sundra. We have a pop plant we can execute, or we can go in completely hidden. I'm pretty sure it's... See, this is a good scan. You see this? It's not warded here, but the Vi scanned because they were in her jungle. They were in her jungle. She knows this, and when someone's in your house and they're walking with your shoes, you gotta clean it up. If you walk around barefoot or not, that's disgusting. So make sure, when people are in your jungle, scan to make sure that they're not seeing where you are. And if you didn't get that, make sure. Yeah, 3 times. Now, obviously, we have here another cinematic arrow. Thank you so much. We use our map position and our team's rotation to secure that herald, which is good. Now, it's early enough for us to make sure we get platings. There's a 4 stack on top lane, which is unfortunate. No 3.5s or 2.5s anywhere, 4 everywhere. Let's see. We actually have 1 more plate than the enemy. That's... if you told me to call it, I wouldn't have necessarily said that we had more plates, but I'll take it. And now, of course, we have Conditioning from, sorry, not Conditioning, Demolish from the Fiora. We'll activate that, and that does actually give us the top lane tower. First elevation of game state. Everyone else rotates to the mid lane. We've got a little bit of Fiesta. We see the Graves move down, so we know this is gone, which means we can yeet this and base. Right? We can yeet this and base if we see everyone, but we got to be careful of rotations back up through the jungle. I kind of like doing this just to yeet out, because as you can see, no one's going here right now, and we know Graves went down, and we know she's going to hold this, so it's kind of free. And if you don't need to base, you can just look to loop back down, but otherwise, at the very least, steal the camp, back to base, and make sure we're back in time for the dragon. Now, the Graves is still up, but we've closed it a little bit. He has died a few times because of pressure, and obviously we killed him once. The CS gap here... yeah, that is why Vi works, and that is why they like it, because how do you counter that if she's at least within touching distance, literally, in terms of gold experience and obviously spells? Huge, 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 huge. And again, I'm not joking. I'm not joking either. Go to u.gg, Korea, NAE West, Master Plus. It's the highest pick rate out of all 3 regions. It's really, really interesting because she's able to do those kinds of things, and the damage will be huge. And when you've got prior targets like Zeri, how do you lock her down? A lot of mobility. All right, how do you lock them down? You use a VIR, you use a VIQ, you move around the map quickly. Hey, 1 hit. Yeah. Yeah, huge amounts of CC. And CC, by the way, wins games. Fire Dragon is up. I don't like that we kind of looped up and then down again. I feel like we should be looking for this dragon first and foremost. So a little bit of master tier jungling here that might afflict a lot of you as well in other elos. So good principles here. That's why I like this elo better for this channel. I do like your challenger games and perfection games too, of course. But it's nice to see pathing mistakes from a whole unit, even in a high elo setting, you know? Now, you see, I don't feel like this should be something we're giving up. I feel like we had the position to kind of set ourselves... He's molding. He's furious. He's livid. He's tilted. He's raging when we're fisting. Again, I love it. I mean, my first main, obviously, level 1, I bought a Volibear shard. We didn't have shards back then. I just bought a $10 card, bought Volibear, played it. But when I first started ranking, and figuring out how to not be turbo shit at the game, I used Vi for that bit, and getting early dragons, which gave global gold back in the day. So I do have a good soft spot for the champion, and I like seeing it performed decently well. I mean, this is not perfect by any means. We're not looking at rank 1 Vi, which I think is always a bit misleading as well. We're just looking at a good old-fashioned, high elo Korean game, and showing you that even though you will be counter-jungled, even though you will be invaded, even though you cannot be a Graves, you can still do your job to win the game because you do not need to be as high econ. And that's huge, right? So Graves is in the top lane, level 10 now. Now, we're also level 10. We're heading out for... Sorry, we're heading down, but we're heading on to our Death's Dance itemization. We get these Raptors. Thank you so much. We're now up 5k from these fights. These are huge momentum swinging plays, by the way. And that's what the point and click R really, really does. Ahri, hello, bot lane. I mean, if you're paying attention and she has no R, or no mana, Q into range, Q into the charm, Everfrost avoided with R, now her R is up again. Man, I was hopeful for a second, but she got it off, so, and now we're kind of trapped. Are we doomed? Ash Arrow! Woo! And Rel is a champion, so the team rotates. We get 11 level up spikes. We have, of course, have the Fiora showing up here. We have the Rel rotating, and the Ash Arrow actually hits TPing out. So, a little bit of team assistance, but again, what reigns supreme, what always lets you win games? CC. CC wins games. And also, doing a lot of damage with not a lot of items. And being quite tanky with not a lot of items. That's what Vi's good at. And honestly, for your anything below Diamond, Vi is a great champion to use in the meta because you can easily have a 7 CS, 6 CS a minute game on average. You know, you should be able to average that absolutely fine. There's nothing that says you cannot. This is a bit more because we're against the Graves and he's getting in our face and we didn't really have the prior early, but we just lose gracefully. We still make the plays we need to. We don't focus too much on that. And then we make sure we're flash queuing and queuing in and ulting in and hitting all the people we need to hit with those spells and then swapping targets appropriately. Again, no Q flash in this situation. That's just kind of listing. Just making sure you're hitting these spells on the right target. Wasted a little bit on the Ahri, but now the CC and the time invest we've had with the Galio in terms of collapsing on people, that's really huge. Don't want to take an inhib too... Okay. That happened to us. Flash Akali. All right. No Ignite TP. All right. But yeah, that does happen anyway. So we do have Death's Dance completed. Interesting to see. I mean, you can go full tank from this. You can kind of flex into regular fighter itemization. More of Mortius and stuff like that is still good. But if you feel like you don't need that you don't need to fulfill that role in your team, don't worry about it too much. Staying alive is crucial as Vi. And unless you're super far ahead, then you're an assassin. An assassino. You kill Zeri, by the way. You just make sure you're queuing and flashing and R'ing at the right moment. But again, it's still tough against something like Ahri for ults up. So we do have Baron spawning here very soon. We have the Dragon spawning very soon. Kind of want to start to push the map a little bit, which we do. We can queue around the map a bit more than this person is. They're not really using their Q to be mobile. Use your Q to go through walls to get places quickly. It's got such a low cooldown. You really, there's no reason for us to be pathing and shadowing this. We should be going for the Dragon. So again, I'm talking about this, but there's no reason for us to be going upside. This is a jungle main. This is a Master Tier player, but you can see that certain things can cover up bad pathing mistakes in terms of mechanics and other decision-making and good team fighting. But she does make her way down. Let's go for a little bit of peel here as much as we can. Thank you so much. We do have Ahri alive here. We have Zeri alive here. We have Graves alive here. Let's see, what can we do? Ooh, we missed a Q. Doesn't matter. We can alter. There we go. Chain CC, auto attacks. Very good. Make sure you get that E weave woven in as well. Swap to the Amumu. Very juicy. And Q's up again. We hit the Graves. We keep going. And we keep auto attacking. We keep Eing. And we hit another one. I mean, 3.43 seconds. You're in and out of the fights the whole time. That was a good rotation. Now, a lot of you might have stuck it out here thinking, oh, guys, you shouldn't be fighting. You just recognize, shit, Dragon spawning. I'm in the wrong place. Let me head on down. And that's a game-winning rotation, though. So it's a few times a game-winning rotation has happened, but a few times she's also had equally terrible pathing. So, we are going for the Dead Man's Plate, which is, well, that's good. We can do that. I have no issue with that. Let's have a look here. We kind of want to just trap and use our CC and overwhelm them. They can't really stick to us anymore. And obviously our percentage damage really helps against things like a Mimu. There we go. R is up in 56. That is still the higher cooldown. There is a Q flash. Hi, Graves. Stand in front of him. There you go. Stand in front of him. Next target. Galio R comes through. Good knock up. There we go. Q into an E. There we go. You just keep going. You keep going. You keep going. And honestly, the Q CDR buff that we had a long time ago, so good, man. So good. Like, it just makes the champion so mobile in these fights. And for a fight, if you're learning how to target swap and chain CC things together and play around your team, I mean, there's really not a better champion. But as you can see, there are definitely downsides, and you saw them down 2 levels. If you're not making the right plays against the Graves and a Nidalee and a Kindred and things like that, you're not going to have fun. Volibear too. But if you are making those right decisions, she made a few mistakes, but they weren't game-ending mistakes. You should be within touching distance, and as long as it's a crucial fight, Dragon, target you can take out, you'll have no issue dominating every game. I think this is a good KDA. I was just thinking a little bit. This is a good KDA. You want assists, right? You're not looking to have like 20 kills and 1 assist as Vi. You're definitely looking to have a bit more assists. A nice, well-rounded, thick KDA. Anyway, Warrior Guide, Volibear Guide, Live Companion Guides, all linked below for you. The match history as well. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed and learned something. Head to the main channel for a brand new video. Nice effects, lots of work. And as always, I will see you all in the next tutorial.